I'm going to be teaching you guys on how to create an ARK Survival Evolved dedicated server to play with your friends, have other people who join. It's a public server. It's dedicated to everyone. So I'm going to teach you everything you need to know, including adding mods, different maps, everything. The only complicated process about this would be port forwarding. As long as you have if you have port forwarding down, this is a simple, easy to do process. Won't take long, and you're good. Just make sure you have a good enough computer that has enough, mostly RAM and CPU power, to handle the server. Otherwise, you're not going to be running it very well. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is download Steam Cmd. Steam Cmd, like it says, is a command line version of the Steam client. It basically runs Steam and everything about Steam in a command line or box, you know what I mean. So you're gonna have to go to this page. I'll leave all the links in the description below, and you're just gonna scroll down, and you're gonna scroll down till you see download Steam Cmd for Windows right here. If you have other versions of operating systems like Linux and Mac and stuff, you could download for here, but most people use Windows, and that's probably the best experience you're gonna get. But you're gonna click on this for download Steamd for Windows. It's gonna send you a download, and I would recommend placing it in the area you want to have your ARK server. Like, cause it's basically, when you do this, you're gonna have to re-download the whole ARK game. So you might want a bigger drive if you need to. So I would install it into my WD 500 gigs drive. So I would just save it right here. Alright, now it's saved. Now let me go find it in the drive. Okay, here it is. So if you guys know how to do it, just extract the files. Okay. Yeah. Well, because I already did this, it's gonna want to replace it. I'm just gonna say no. I'm just gonna cancel it. But once you install and stuff, it's basically gonna have this. It's gonna open this folder and has all the settings on it. So I'm just gonna delete this real quick. So extract that. Okay, now once you're in here, you're gonna want to create basically a command type of line to install an ARK server. It's basically re-downloading ARK but into another folder. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Okay, so once you have the Steam Cmd extracted and downloaded and everything, you're gonna want to open up the folder. Okay, so in this whole little mess of just random stuff, all you're gonna have to do is create just a new text document. So you're gonna right click, go to new, go to text document, and you're gonna wanna you can name it anything, but to memorize it and to like know what to click on when you need to, I would recommend ARK Server Update. Click enter. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna enter open this. So now this is basically a command line, because we're gonna turn this into a bat file. So once you have this open, you're gonna want to copy into this line. It is right here. I'm gonna have it in the description below. Just copy and paste it. So Control C. So basically, what this is doing, ARK off. To be honest, I have no idea what the fuck that means, but it's starting the Steam client, which is the command line, and then it's gonna log you into Steam. So you're gonna have to put your username right here, the one you use for Steam. It should be in the top right of your Steam profile, and then you have to put your space password. Make sure these are both correct, otherwise this won't work. So that's just gonna log you in, and then it's gonna force install the ARK game, or the game, ARK, into whatever directory you want. So make sure you have it and located in the directory you want. And to find out what directory it is, or where it's like to locate it at, you just where you want to download it at, just click. Let's say I want to download here. What I usually is called my ARK Server base file right here. So basically, I'm gonna click this, and then I'm just gonna click up here, and it basically gives me the drive. And I'll just copy and paste this right here. So that's basically how it tells you where you want it. Make sure the quotation marks are on it also. Then it's gonna be plus app update. Now this is telling us what game to download. This is the code name for ARK right here. It's 346110. So it's telling you app update, and you're gonna have to use this when you have to update the game too. So the first time it's gonna install it. So app update ARK, and then validate. It's going to validate all the files, make sure they're all there so you don't mess up, and then quit. It's just going to quit the Steam client or the command line. So after you're done with that and you paste it in here, you're gonna want to file. Make sure you have your username and password in it. File save as, and you keep this and then type in .bat, ArkServerUpdate.bat, and then click save. So now that's done and stuff. Now you have your where is it? Steam Cmd right here, ArkServerUpdate.bat. This is the original file. It doesn't have anything now, and this is the BAT. So if we were to go edit with Notepad, it has a whole command line in here, including your login, password, and everything. Okay, so now you have the ARK Server Update file in your Steam Cmd folder or wherever you want it. So now you want to do is you're gonna want to open this up. It's gonna load, blah blah blah. Login and username Steam. Okay, it crashed because it didn't have my username and password in. But once you have it in, it's gonna load, and it's gonna ask you for your two-factor code, which is if you have your Steam app, you would get it sent to your phone, and you just put that in and click enter. And it's gonna take a very long time because ARK is about like over 50 gigabytes. It's a really big game, so you're gonna have to let that install. It's gonna take depending on your internet connection, take up to like 4 hours, maybe longer to install. Okay, so once you have your game downloaded into a folder it's gonna look similar like this. So what you want to do is you're gonna want to go into ShooterGame, Binaries, Win64, and this is where you're gonna start your start server command, because you have your server downloaded. Now you need a command line to start it up. So you're not going to use any of these files, but what you're going to do is create a new file. Go to new text document, and then you want to name it Start Server, whatever you want. I would recommend Start Server because that makes the most sense. But I already have it downloaded, which is right here. So basically what you want to do is open it, edit with Notepad. I like Notepad++, but just want to open it and then copy this command line. I'm going to paste it in the description below. It's telling the game to start ShooterGameServer.exe, which is going to start your server, and then this is where you basically customize your server just a little bit. You don't, not the whole thing, but most of it. So right here, this is what is going to tell. You're going to tell like the map, what map you wanted to play. Currently have the center, which is a new map that came out. If you want the default map, which is just the islands, or you have a mod downloaded, you could put that name of that. That's what you want to do is put the map name right there, and each thing you want to be separated with a question mark. It's like it just separates each idea. So you want that, then you want your session name. So you do session name equals and whatever you want. Mine is views from ARK because Drake, you know. Alright, so you do the equal whatever name you want, question mark. And if you want a password on your server, you do password equals blank question mark. I don't have a password. You're gonna put port equals 27015 question mark, QueryPort equals 27016. This is just all the ports for the game. You don't worry about those. And this is, you can put some of the basic server settings. So you can put the MaxPlayers, which is -25, and you're gonna want to put at the end, no matter where you want the end to say listen and question mark. This is important. So have listen question mark, and then you have nosteamclient game server log. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Just copy and paste this and then edit the settings you can. Okay, do not forget to make this a bat file. So after you're done putting all your settings and stuff in, you want to save it and save as .bat, just like what you did with the update server one. So when it turns into a bat file, so you're able to open it and run it. Okay, so now let's get into all the settings for your server and how to customize it the way you want. So basically, you want to find this is where you want to keep, or just like remember where your config file is, because there's a lot of config folders. So what you want to do is where your game's go to your folder where your game's downloaded, and then go to Shooter Game, go to Saved, Config, and Windows Server. So these are your you can say like different type of server settings, but the main one you're probably gonna be using is game user settings. So what you want to do is you want to open that one, and this is gonna have basically everything you want. So you don't have to worry about a lot of this, like recon ports, all that PvE. A lot of the PvE settings are only if your server's a PvE. Most of you guys want a PvP server or a PvPE versus E server. But this is where you can customize a lot about your server. So you could change the autosave period time, and you could change how max team dinos, difficulty offset, XP multiplier, always notify players join and leave. A lot of this is going to be either equal true or false, or it's going to equal a number. You can also enter your server admin password, or like I wouldn't recommend putting like settings as like your server name and max players and stuff. That I would recommend actually just editing in your start server command line, your bat file. You can ignore all that. You can scroll down, and this is where it shows it. You could change your name and your max players, but I would just recommend doing the other place. And I will show you the site where you can get all the different types of lines of what for each type of setting you can do for your server. The other main one you're probably going to be using is game. This one you can edit more complicated settings in it, like global spoiling time, decomposition time, how fast a baby can be born, all this extra stuff. And it's just because it's going to equal numbers. So I'm going to show you the site. I'll leave a link below. I'll leave a link in the description below of where to get all of it. And this basically tells you which commands you want to put in either the game settings or the game user settings, and also what they do. So it shows everything from player damage multiplier to your ban list URL. You can ban certain people, allow cave buildings, everything. And it's gonna tell you what like putting the number higher or lower does, true or false. It's pretty simple as that. Basically every time you're done posting stuff in here, you're just gonna go file, save. You don't have to save as, just save, and you're good. But make sure to do it. It's okay you can change it while the server's running, but it's not going to take effect. I would recommend shutting down your server, putting in there, saving, and then starting your server back up. But if you don't want to, you can paste in there while your server's running, and then next time you restart your server, the changes will affect. So that's basically how to customize all the options. Just save that, and then you double click this, and basically it's going to look like this, and then it's going to shut down the one console and open up a new console. And depending how good your computer is, this is going to take at least, I would say, up to 10 minutes to start your server. It's just going to look like this for a long time, and then once the server's running, it's going to have some settings, but I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so once your server is running, it just look like this. It's gonna add all these extra stuff telling you how long it took. Mine took like 971 seconds. Number of cores it's using from your CPU, the command line it used. Basically, this is your start server command line you put it in. So basically, once this is running, your server should be up and running. There may be a few things you might have to adjust, but you're gonna notice that you're gonna have no connection after you did your update ARK server stuff. So basically all you have to do is change user, log out, and then just log right back in, and you'll be good. You have connection again. It does that every time. Basically right when it asks you for your two-factor code from earlier, it basically does that too, logs you out. Okay, now to find your server, you can find it many different ways. You can search for a server through the search box. You can just scroll through and hope you find it. But what I like to do, because I already have mine up, I just go to you can go to LAN, join from there, it's right here, views from ARK. Or I can go to my survivors, which it shows like my places where I have played on and I have a person on. It'll show me that, which should pop up any second now. See right here, views from ARK. I can either join from that way. So, and if you can't find your server anywhere and you won't show up, there's probably a reason why. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so the main reason why your server may not be up or you can't find it is because the biggest problem and one of the hardest things to deal with when starting a server, any kind of server, which is port forwarding. So port forwarding opens the ports so other people can join, and so you can allow other people to join. Basically, to add ports and edit the settings for it, you're gonna have to go into there's some programs you can use which you can download, but I don't use that. I just go directly to, I enter my IP into my search bar and go that, and because I have Verizon, this is what the interface looks like. And all I had to do was click on firewall setting and then port forwarding. So for example, for me to edit my IP for this one, I would have to type in IP. I would just leave it IP address forward to select from application to forward. I would just go to custom ports. Okay, now it's gonna tell me this. Now I would go to both because I wanted to have it TCP and UDP, and I would enter, because the ports for ARK, I would enter 27015 to 27020. Oh, my bad. I need to enter right here. Basically this. I would enter that and then I would click add. But because I already have these, it's gonna tell me error and stuff. So that's basically how you do port forwarding. You can look up other videos, as though it can get more complicated. But as long as you have the basic ports open and stuff, you should be fine, and you should be able to find your server. Okay, so now your server's done. I taught you how to customize all your settings in it, where your configs are located, how to update it, how to start it. Now, just one last thing, if you want to do, I'd recommend going to your ShooterGame Binaries 164, find your StartARKServer line, and just creating a shortcut and then putting it somewhere. Like I have mine right here. I just put the icon as a little star, just like a star from right here, instead of having to go in this little folder every single time. Now, some other points to make: you're gonna always have to need this up to have your server running. Always. If you put your computer in sleep mode, the server will shut down. If there is an update for ARK, and if your server's not updated, sometimes you can still join and sometimes you won't. I just recommend always updating it, because ARK's always adding new stuff in. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'll see you guys next time. Have fun with the new server, and peace out.